Now, good morning, everybody. How are we today? I'm Adrian, and that man there is Jeremy, and that number there is our WhatsApp number, 085-825-2626. You're very welcome along to our Facebook Live this morning, and we're going to have a couple of different conversations, and we would love to get you involved in those different conversations. We're going to be, I want to talk about something that you did firstly, Mr. Dixon, over there. Yeah, okay. I want to talk about that.
Okay.
And a couple of other things I want to talk about, like, for example, age gaps in relationships. And we also want to talk about a thing that they're doing in the UK and see whether or not people think it should be done here. And that is banning all online junk food advertising. So we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But before all of that...
Well, before you even mention before all of that, I just want to give my commiserations as well to the fellow sufferers who are watching this morning. And of course, I'm talking about hay fever sufferers. You wouldn't be aware of this, Adrian, because it's not on your radar. But today's pollen count is, I believe, off the bloody charts. And oh God, it's really, really bad today. I'm all bunged up. I was awake half the night with it. I'm after popping hay fever tablets, and it still won't go away. So if you are like me, if you were a hay fever sufferer and you're suffering in silence at the moment, you have my commiserations. But just get it.
Do you not get an injection every year? Do you not get an injection every year?
I did. I got it a month ago. I got the injection from my GP, and put it this way: without that injection, I wouldn't be talking to you now. It'd be like literally my eyes would be watering and I wouldn't be able to breathe. So thank God for the injection. But even with the injection and the tablets, it's still a really bad day. So what I'm doing straight after this show is I'm going down to Killiney Beach to walk along the beach, because that's the best way to cure. If I walk when the waves come in, the salt in the water gets into your system, and that's the best way to get rid of it. So if you are suffering today, meet me down on Killiney Beach in an hour. I'll be wearing my dry robe. Getting in for a swim.
Right.
But no,
okay,
that's... and I just noticed something else, that today is a very special and poignant day as well. I just noticed this before we came on air. Today would be, or is, Madeleine McCann's 18th birthday. Isn't that hard to believe?
Oh, my God.
Literally just came up on my news feed, because I follow the official Madeleine campaign on Facebook, and they put up a lovely post there with a photograph of Maddie, the photograph that everybody would know, the one of her on the beach with the sun hat, where she's holding her little, or she's holding tennis balls, I think it is. And the post simply says, "Happy 18th birthday, Madeleine. We love you, and we're waiting for you, and we're never going to give up." I think about Madeleine. I think about Madeleine McCann. I think about her at least once every couple of weeks. She just pops into my head, and I often wonder, where is she? God, what happened? It's one of those things that I don't know if we'll ever find out the truth behind it, will we?
No, and everybody has a different theory as to what happened to her, where she might be. Personally, I think she's sadly deceased. Others think she's still alive. There's a guy in Germany about to face charges in relation to her disappearance. It's one of those stories that we may never know the answer to. Now, by the way, if you're watching us on Facebook, why not share this video onto your own Facebook page so that your friends can see that Adrian and Jeremy are here right now on Facebook Live. So just click share and share it to your own Facebook page right now, and let other people watch. Now, first off,
also, sorry, the best way to contact us, as Adrian said, is by WhatsApp voice note. So you can see the numbers on the screen there. There's one underneath my ugly mug, and there's a number underneath Adrian's ugly mug as well. That is the number to talk to us. The best way to contact us. We do like your comments on Facebook. We don't always see them. So the best way, if you want to get your point across about anything that we're talking about on the show today, the best way to do it is by sending a WhatsApp voice note. There's the number. Look right there. And that goes straight into our computers, so we can hear them. So 085-825-2626. Send us a WhatsApp voice note about anything that we may be talking about in the next while.
Okay, now first off, influencers. Now,
yeah,
to a lot of people, they're very helpful. They help promote companies. They help promote brands. And their social media presence is very widespread, and some people think they do good, but you really stirred it up yesterday with the tweet that you put up. I want to read the tweet for people who may not have seen it, yeah? And it says, I just heard of an influencer contacting a Dublin hair salon offering online exposure in exchange for a free haircut and treatment. Hair salons have been closed for months. They don't need your exposure. They need money in their tills, you dose. Now, interestingly, you didn't name this influencer, even though you know who this influencer is. Why didn't you call this person out looking for a free haircut a day or two after the salons reopen?
Couple of reasons. But before I get into that, actually, because the reaction to that tweet was actually quite surprising. By the way, 90%, 99% actually of people agreed with the tweet. There was very little backlash on it. But before I even get into that, because I just want to gauge the opinion of you guys who are watching and listening now at the moment. So I want you to WhatsApp this to 085 825 2626. It's a simple question. When we mention the word influencer, what pops into your head? Okay, so when we mention the word influencer, what's the first word or the first sentence that would pop into your head? Okay, the first thing, whatever pops into your head, just send it to us on that WhatsApp number. So when Adrian mentioned influencer, what's the first thing that you think of when you hear that? Anyway, yeah, back to the story. So a friend of mine, she doesn't run this hair salon. It's in County Dublin. She happens to work in that hair salon. She's not the boss of the hair salon, but they have an Instagram page. And it wasn't yesterday, it was actually the day before yesterday. They got a private message on Instagram from an influencer, not a very well-known influencer. Now, this wouldn't be someone with millions of, like, it wasn't Kylie Jenner or Kendall Jenner contacting them looking for a hairdo. It was someone with, you know, a couple of over 20,000 followers on Instagram. Okay, so we're talking, you know, middle of the
medium
road.
level influencer,
And basically the message was, how you doing? I'd like to collab with you. That's the expression they always use. I'd like to collab with you. Glad to see you're open again, blah, 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 blah. In exchange for free haircut and treatment, I can offer you exposure to my Instagram followers, blah, 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 blah. And the friend of mine who works in this salon, who was shown this message by her boss, sent it to me. Sent it to me on the proviso that I would not name the person. And I'll explain why I didn't want to name the person. The salon themselves were afraid that they would get a backlash for shaming this influencer. Because what would have happened, had this influencer been named, there would have been a huge pile on social media yesterday. People would have, you know the way pile-ons work. You've been a victim of many of them. They would have called her out. She would have gone onto Instagram yesterday evening and done a teary-eyed video. I can't believe how I've been bullied into this. And then the hairdressers would have been accused of bullying this woman who was just trying to drum up a bit of business. So, you know, all you have to do is look at IG stories, Instagram stories to see how influencers operate. Not all of them operate that way. Some of them operate,
and it's unfair to say that all of them operate that way. Some of them are very good at reading the room, if you like. Others aren't, and I think of the ones that went to places like Dubai last year when we were all having our staycations here in Ireland. They just didn't read the room, and the room was telling them, you know, don't do that. But they did anyway. But they're not all influencers. The point being,
when I got this message anyway, when she was talking to me, I was raging, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you know, hairdressers, hair salons, barbers have been closed for nearly five long months, where these people have been sitting at home twiddling their thumbs, not being able to work, itching to get back to work. And they need money in their tills right now. They don't need exposure. Everybody knows that hair salons are open at the moment, you know. And this particular person who wanted the free hairstyle for the exposure, and I get it. I get that's what influencers do, and I guess that's how they make their money. And by the way, I think that the whole influencing thing, I think it's going to be dead in 5 years anyway. I think people are going to get
people have had enough. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think people 100%. Have had enough. But yet you see the Jenner girls in the States. One of them who has become a billionaire literally from endorsing products. So there is a market there for it. There is a business there for influencing. But this particular influencer who was looking for the free hairdo and the cut or whatever, which, Jesus, it would have cost you 60 quid to get it done. Just put your hand in your pocket and support a business that it's been on its knees for the last couple of months. And I don't see the value. Supposing she had gone into that hair salon yesterday and taken up a valuable space of a customer who was going to pay for a hairdo. Okay, supposing she had gone on, she would have put the post up on Instagram. Just got my hair done in Adrian's salon. Doesn't it look lovely? You should pop down to Adrian's salon. Half of her followers are probably in Australia or England,
and they're not going to be popping
the UK.
in. Anyway, the point being,
on a plane.
And it was a well-made point that influencers need to read the room, basically. And now is not the time to be trying to blag a free haircut from a business, like you said, that has been closed since Christmas. They literally got to open this week, and it's a bit cheap to be asking for a free haircut. I'm interested in your opinion on influencers, and we want you to just send a word. When you think of the word influencer, what pops into your head? And send it to that number there. Look, 085 825 2626 by WhatsApp or WhatsApp voice note.
Like Dave just did.
Okay, let's have a listen to this WhatsApp voice note that has just come in from Dave.
Hey, Adrian and Jeremy. Dave here. Just a message about the influencers. I'm not a big fan of influencers myself. A lot of big egos in that industry. But just being honest with you, in a business term, you get a far better return on investment on money spent trying to get an influencer to advertise your business than you will on any TV or overpriced radio advert these days. People actually listen to influencers far more than they do TV adverts. People fast forward through TV adverts these days. They don't watch them. So with influencers, people watch them religiously. So people actually are getting a return on investment. About the girl who reached out saying, can you give us a haircut and I'll give you a shout out? Go feck off, get back in the queue. But just pointing out that it is actually a decent return on investment.
All right, no, and there is no denying, and you were talking about the Kardashians and all of them, big,
literally, I was
multi-million followers.
Yeah, I was watching a documentary a couple of weeks ago on, I can't remember which one of the Jenners it is. Is it Kylie or Kendall? Whichever one is the youngest ever billionaire. Anyway, they were saying that if she puts up a post on her Instagram page to say, I just used Adrian's skin cream on my legs, and my legs have never been shinier, my legs have never been smoother. Please buy Adrian's skincare. That the sales of that will just rocket up, because influencers aren't aimed at your age group and my age group and a lot of the people that are watching at the moment. But if you're 18 or 19 or 20, you're probably very easily influenced. I mean, your daughter, would she be?
No, not really. No, if she's big into Instagram and all of that. Would she be easily influenced? I can't actually answer that question because I don't know whether she sees stuff on Instagram and is then subsequently influenced by it. Send us a WhatsApp to that number there, 085 825 2626, or you can do what you can send one to Jeremy, because as you can see from Jeremy, he wants you to send a WhatsApp. A WhatsApp, whatever that is. 085 825 2626. So give me a word that defines what an influencer is to you. So here's one. Influencer equals dickhead. That's the first thing I think of. Anyway, not much of an influencer if they have to go and ask for a free hairdo. Now, I agree with that. Seriously, you want to be fairly desperate to be asking.
But that's how they operate. That's how they, you see.
No, I understand that. I get that. Attention seekers, says another message. Influencers, when you think of an influencer, what's the first thing that comes into your head? Send us a WhatsApp to that number there, 085 825 2626. Let's have a listen to what Kevin has to say on influencers.
Morning, Adrian and Jeremy. It's Kev here. Yeah, look, influencers are just the blaggers of modern society, and you can probably talk the birds and the trees, and probably next like a what. But it's the people that are letting themselves be influenced by these influencers, right? These are total strangers who are just looking to pawn this shit off to total strangers so they can keep the stuff coming in, the free stuff coming in for themselves. And that like it's a sad state of affairs when you're basing your product purchases on someone's words, a total stranger. They're believing the words of something they don't know. And these people saying the words don't even believe the words are saying themselves. So it's a bit of a sad state of affairs that you can't just make your own decisions for yourself based on an actual experience of something going right or wrong for you. All right. These influencers don't care. They want the free stuff to keep rolling in. You mean nothing to them. But such is life. Have a good one.
All right,
You
Kev,
see,
thanks very much indeed.
Kevin, they're not aimed at you. With the greatest respect, you're probably a middle-aged man. You're probably in your late 40s to early 50s. They're not aiming at you. And whether we like it or not, I don't have much time for influencers, but whether we like it or not, it is a job. It's a job that exists now, and there's a lot of people making really, really good money out of it. And there's a lot of companies investing in influencers. I mean, all those big department stores, they send out, the likes of ASOS, Boohoo, maybe even Pennies, they send out clothes to these influencers in the hope that the influencers will wear these clothes, and they'll put up a photograph on Instagram saying, "Happy Thursday, everybody. Here I am in my little dress that I got on Boohoo, hashtag ad, hashtag spawn." And then girls were looking at it and go, "Oh, that dress is lovely. I'll have to buy that dress myself." So, I don't think they can be knocked as a profession, because they obviously do. If they didn't influence, companies wouldn't be sending them out free stuff.
No, and I accept that, but it's all about, like Dubai last year, and like hair salons opening up this week. Read the bloody room. It is not the time to be asking a salon to give you a free haircut. That's just the fact of it. It just isn't the time. Keep your messages coming in. The number, as you can see on screen, is 085 825 2626. Send us a WhatsApp voice note with your opinion. Let's have a listen to Sandy.
Hi, lads. Good morning. I'm just watching your live about the influencer. Sorry, this is Sandy here. If I go into a hairdresser's, as an example, or even into a shop to buy something, and if I'm satisfied with it, I will put it up on my page saying, "Oh, this place and that place or whatever did a great job." But for that so-called wannabe who wants to be an influencer, reminds me of the girl out of Fair City, the cheek of her to go into a hairdresser's and say, "Oh, if you give me a free haircut or this or that and the other, I'll promote your page, this and that and the other." She's just a random person like everybody else. Get your hair done, pay for it, and then promote them on your page. You don't lower your standards by doing that. Seriously. You're only lowering your own standards. People are only laughing at you.
All right, Sandy, thank you very much indeed. Keep your messages coming in, 085 825 2626. I'm Adrian and he's Jeremy, and we're just having a conversation about the issues of the day. We have a few more things to discuss with you in a couple of minutes. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live right now, which lots of you are, share our video onto your own Facebook page so that your friends can see that we're live. And for those of you who are watching, make sure you click on notifications for our live videos. There's actually a tutorial on our page, which Jeremy went to great lengths to produce yesterday, if you want to have a look at how you set up notifications for live videos. Anyway, 085 825 2626.
Here's a message on Facebook, and it's from Gemma, and she makes a valid point. She says, "Lads, are you not influencers? Can you not influence people with your online presence?" Yes, I suppose we can. I mean, we do have, on this page alone that we're on at the moment, what is it, 120,000 of you are on this page. We have our Twitter accounts as well, which have between us another 40-odd thousand. So yeah, we do have a big audience. And I suppose, we get sent free stuff a lot of the time as well, but I've never asked for anything for free.
No.
And I'm sure
I might ask to get in the door of a nightclub or something like that, but that's been a long time happening. And when it comes to nightclubs reopening, I'm not going to go knocking on the door saying, "Can I please come in for free?" Because like with the hair salons, they're entitled to earn money and get back to business again. All right. And one final WhatsApp on this conversation from James.
Hey guys, everyone's an influencer. Anytime you speak with somebody about anything, really, you're influencing them in one way or another. It's just that those guys on the social media or whichever other way they're influencing with a lot of followers, they just learn how to make money of it. There's nothing wrong with that, and they'll probably sell their mother just to influence someone else. Morally, yeah, it's very wrong, but I admire that they actually learn how to do that. I wish I would.
Okay, he wants to be an influencer, basically. That's what he's saying.
Pretty much.
All right, and one final message on this conversation, and this is Lauren.
Look, I don't really know. I think, that person did the wrong thing. I mean, like, this day and age, things just opening back up. It just kind of shows you the caliber of people you're dealing with. Like, they don't give a damn about anybody else. I think it's ridiculous, and they should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, I know a couple of people who've got, half-price boob jobs, from posting on their page and promoting the clinics on their page. And look, you're saving a lot of money. Like, God, I'd do that myself if I could get away with it. But like things like free dinners and free hairstyles and stuff like this now, and when we're just coming out of lockdown, I think they've a bloody cheek. I think they're absolutely ridiculous. And it just shows you the kind of people you're dealing with. Like,
all right, Lauren,
I think
much
as you
indeed.
said, Adrian, I think we'll wrap up on this point. I think the point that you made earlier, Adrian, is that, and again, this isn't all influencers. There's some really good people who are good at what they do, but the pandemic really, really showed a lot of influencers for what they really were. They didn't read the room. They were completely tone deaf to what was going on. The rest of us were stuck within our 5K. The furthest place we could go was Dunn's. And then you go into social media and you see these people who are working from Dubai because they got a free trip to go over there. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, read the room, lads. Look at what's going on here. And I think a lot of, and other ones going to outside their county to go to like these makeup things that were going on in the UK or whatever, and defying, and a lot of them claiming that they were doing it responsibly and that they were, when they got back from it, they were quarantining and all that. Would you give me an absolute break? The bottom line is, a lot of influencers would sell their own granny if they knew they could make a bit of money off it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the thing.
Anyway, I want to move on to a different conversation. And again, we want to get your reaction. If you're watching us, if you can hear me now, you are watching us on our Facebook page. And share our video onto your Facebook page so that others can see that Adrian and Jeremy are alive and well and are with you here on Facebook with Opinions Matter. And you can WhatsApp us 085 825 2626. Share the video onto your own Facebook page so that other people can see that we are here. And for those of you who have been asking, and a lot of you have, where have you gone? Why aren't you on the radio anymore? It's a question we've been asked every day. We no longer work with 98 FM, and we are basically going out on our own. So this is just the start of what we're planning to do over the next couple of weeks.
Scary times.
And we're delighted to announce that we have finally secured our own little office that we are going to be setting up over the next couple of weeks, our own little studio. And all is good. So we are working furiously in the background, putting our new project together. So we're delighted with you for watching us today, and thank you. Tell all your friends to follow us on our Facebook page. Now, the next conversation that we want to have with you, this is a great story. Did you see this story earlier on, Jeremy? This is a story that headlines, "Strangers mistake mum of 3 as husband's daughter due to 30-year age gap." Did you see this story?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so this is basically the story of a 29-year-old with her husband, who's 59. They fell in love after meeting through a mutual friend 9 years ago. Despite their age gap, they're a happy couple and have 3 children together. But he's often mistaken for her dad. She's often mistaken for his daughter. But they've got 3 young kids together. Now,
sorry, if you want to have a look, because it's quite a visual thing as well. If you want to have a look at what the couple actually look like, if you look in the comments section there, I've just posted a link, and you can see what the couple look like. So just go into the comment section there and click on the link there, and you will see a photograph of Tommy and Devon. And I mean, Tommy, no disrespect to him, Tommy looks the same age as your dad does in this particular photograph. And Devon looks about 18. Now I know she's 29.
Yeah.
But she looks about 18. So he is 59 and she is 29. That's a whopper of an age gap, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And it raises the whole conversation about age gaps in relationships and whether, how much is too much. So there's an age gap of 30 years. She's 29 and her husband is 59. And they're as happy as Larry. They have 3 kids together. And, they all look lovely, except he does look like her dad. In fact, he nearly looks like her granddad, had the truth be known. And we want to hear from you. What age is how much of an age gap is too much of an age gap? Now, in your situation, Jeremy, you are a little bit older than your wife. How much?
Here, calm down there, Kennedy. I'm
I'm
not like Tommy and Devon here, by the way.
Yeah.
I will get to my situation in a moment, but I'm just looking at the photograph of the two of them, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe she does find them physically. She obviously finds them physically attractive, okay?
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't be able to have sex with him otherwise. And he obviously finds her physically attractive because, they're attracted to each other. But taking that aside for a moment, the physical attraction, which I don't understand. I don't understand how she's attracted to a man as near his pensionable age. What could they have, or what would they have in common that they could talk about? I mean, part of the success of a relationship is, I've always believed, is that you have common ground, you have something in common, and that you have the same interests. So I don't know anything about this particular couple, but I would imagine Devon, she's 29. By the way, their surname is Kennedy. They're no relation, are they?
No, they're not. No. Here, I'm just going to share the screen. You'll be able to see the photograph of the two of them. They are, well, she's young. She's 29 and he's 59. So you can see quite clearly the difference in their age. But what we want to hear is what age gap is too much. So there's 30 years there. Is that too much of an age gap? Send us a WhatsApp voice note to 085 825 2626, 085 825 2626, and let us know whether or not you think that's too much of an age gap or not enough of an age gap. My grandparents, my grandmother, as you may remember, passed away last summer, sadly. But my grandparents had 17 years between them. So my granddad died.
17.
Yeah, my granddad died back in 1990. My gran outlived him by another nearly 30 years. And she passed away last week, or last year, should I say. And you could always tell that he was much older than her. But they had a good relationship. They had 4 children together. He had been married previously. His first wife passed away. So his eldest daughter was nearly my grand's age. Now, not quite, but nearly my grand's age. And it was always a strange relationship. They were fairly devoted to each other, but there was this obvious age gap. So we want you to send us a WhatsApp to 085 825 2626, or as in Jeremy's case, you can send a WhatsApp to 085 825 2626 with your opinion. How much is too much of an age gap?
Okay,
now,
so you were asking me about this particular couple, and I was saying, forget about the physical attraction, which I find a bit gross, that she could be attracted to for want of a better word, and I don't mean to be blunt about this, and I'm not talking about this particular man, but at 59 years of age, your balls are nearly down at the knees. No, but you know what I mean. But the common ground, she's 29 years of age, so I'm sure she's into programs like, she's into Love Island probably. And at 29, she's probably still into going to nightclubs. She wants to go out nightclubbing with her friends. At 59, you shouldn't be in a nightclub. And I doubt Tommy wants to go to a nightclub at 59. Can you see him now rocking the floor in Copperface Jackson a Saturday night?
Who knows? He may. Anyway, there's a photograph of them. This is Devon and her husband of 59, and that is Tommy. So Tommy's 59. Devon is 29, and they're happily married with 3 children. And we want to know whether or not you think that's too much of an age gap. Now, looking at that photograph, he does look a little bit like her granddad. So how much is too much? Send us a WhatsApp to 085 825 2626, and let us know what you think. Now, you're a little bit older than your missus. You were kind of avoiding the question there, but you are.
Yeah, you came back to it. I thought you'd forgotten. No, I'm not that much
How
older.
much?
What is it?
Come on. How much?
8 years.
8 years. Okay, so you're 8 years older than your wife, which isn't a big age difference. It has to be said.
Yeah.
Does it cause any issues?
It did earlier on in the relationship, because obviously the younger you are, the more energy you have, and like we'd be out on nights out, and she'd want to stay out till like 5 o'clock in the morning, and come 1 o'clock, I'd be like, here, I think we've had enough. No, all joking aside, that literally did happen. But she's kind of catching up with me. The kids do that to you. She's kind of catching up with me with age now. The kids have slowed her down. So it's not like we're not a different generation, you know what I mean? So we can relate to the same things. I mean, she was when she was born, I was, it wasn't as if I was 8. A teenager or anything like that. I was 8.
You were nearly in secondary school.
It wasn't anything like that. I think, and I'm gonna lay it down here. I think the maximum, and I'm not just saying this because it's me, I think the maximum age gap in a relationship is 8 years. After that, it becomes creepy. Maybe 9 at a push. Anything more than an 8-year gap is just, it's just
okay.
creepy.
So we want you to just send us a number, okay? In terms of an age gap in a relationship, how much is too much? Or maybe you think, as the saying goes, age is just a number, and you don't see an issue with it at all, no matter what the age gap, even if it is 30 years. Or maybe you think maybe 10 years is too much. And maybe you're actually in a relationship with a big age gap. Send us a WhatsApp to 085 825 2626. Save that number in your phone, by the way. That's going to be our number forevermore, myself and Jeremy. 085 825 2626.
Now, Eddie sent one straight away there. Let's hear what he has to say about age gaps.
Eddie's not here yet, so for some reason.
It is. Oh, did it not come through to you? Okay.
No. 085 825 2626 is our WhatsApp number. We'd like to hear from you about age gap in relationships, and whether or not there is, how much is too much is really what we're asking you. Okay. 085 825 2626. Now, I do think that 30 years is probably a bit much, but let's hear what Eddie has to say.
Hi lads, Eddie here. You're talking about that couple, right? What you say? She was 29 and he's 59. To me, that's just an absolute joke. I mean, she's probably more than likely going to be a widow by the time she's 45. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. I tried to have a relationship once, and the age gap was 7 years, and that was too hard. We had different tastes in music. We didn't watch the same shows growing up. All of her friends were 7 or 8 years younger. When we went out, even the lads were younger than me. And I just found it really difficult. So now I would stick to my own age gap, 3 years younger or 3 years older, pretty much in around that. But even 10, 15 years for me, no, far too old.
All right, Eddie, thanks very much indeed. Keep your messages coming in. You can see the number at the bottom of our screen there. 085 825 2626, or if you're watching us abroad, you just stick 353 in front of that. 085 825 2626. A lot of reaction actually coming in. How much of an age gap is too much of an age gap?
Now, Claire says on Facebook here, there's 16 years between my parents. I just think that's weird. I think that's really, really odd. How you would even come in contact with someone who has a 16-year age gap with you? Like, where would that even happen, or how would that happen, where you would meet someone that's 16 years younger
well, obviously
than you?
You meet people, you work with people who are different ages. You might be out at a work do or whatever, and you meet, you get talking to somebody who is much younger than you. For example, I became very friendly with a colleague in work, and she's maybe 25 years younger than me. And we get on like a house on fire. Now, I'm not saying we'd be interested in a relationship, but we were able to relate to each other. By the way,
you wouldn't. She thinks you're disgusting to look at. She's told me that. So
no, but you know the point I'm making.
You're barking up the wrong tree there.
When it comes to age gap, you can have a lot in common with somebody who's completely different age. You can. And I think if you have enough in common, then it can possibly work. But if you've nothing in common and you try to build stuff in common, then yeah.
Okay,
085
Yuli has a 6-year gap with her and her partner.
There's 6 years between my husband and I, and it works perfectly because he's quite an immature person. So it's as if there's no age gap between us at all, to be honest.
Because he's 6 years older, so he's got the maturity of you. So yeah, okay, I get that. 085-825-2626 is our WhatsApp number. And as I said, if you're watching us on Facebook right now, share this video to your own page so that other people can see that we're live. And if you, we have a tutorial video on our Facebook page just below this video, which will explain how to set up notifications so that you get a little bell to tell us that we're here live on Facebook.
You know what's very interesting as well that Stephen just raised on Facebook, and I don't have the answer to this, Stephen. How come men never go for older women, but always want a younger woman? That's a fair point. You never.
Well, interestingly, actually, my wife is 1.5 years older than me.
That's
yeah, which isn't an awful lot. Yeah, it's not an awful lot.
But you will never hear of a of a man who's 40, hooking up with a 55-year-old woman. Sure, you won't. Not
very often, no.
Why do men always want a younger woman on their arm? I mean, I have to say, for me, it's always been a badge of honor, in a weird kind of way, that when you meet people in social settings or something like that, and you introduce that's my wife. Like, I love still being able to tell people that my wife is in her 30s. That's great for me to be able to. No, I'm not going to be able to do it for much longer, but to be able to tell people, oh yeah, I have a wife that's in her 30s, because to me, your 30s is still young. Now, when she hits her 40s, I'll be keeping my mouth shut. I will not be. What age is your wife? She's whatever. She's whatever you want her to be.
All right, keep your messages coming in. Send us a WhatsApp to 085-825-2626 and let us know your opinions on age gaps. This message just came in to us and it says, "Hey lads, I'm actually fuming here with Jeremy. I'm in a relationship with my fella who is 10 years older than me. I'm 30. Oh, and so she's 30, so he's 40. Is that right? Oh,
sorry, let me just...
I'm just trying to work that out,
Yeah, he's 40, she's 30.
Why is it wrong? I've never dated a fella that was the same age as me. I've always gone for older men. I can't do a voice note at this moment because my speaker is broken. Oh, okay.
But anyway, speaker for a voice note, by the way, Niamh.
No, anyway, Niamh, thanks for your message. But the point she's making is that she's always gone for older men, so a 10-year gap for her is nothing strange. I think anything more than 10, I won't say it's strange. I can't really say it's strange because of my own grandparents, as I told you a second ago. But I think you can't have as much in common with somebody who's 20 years older.
I think as well, and I don't want to cast aspersions on you, Niamh, so don't take this personally. I'm speaking generally. I think, and again, Niamh, I'm not talking about you, but I think in a lot of cases where a woman goes for a man that's a lot older, there's daddy issues there, and they're looking, they have some sort of daddy issues, and they're looking for a daddy figure in some sort of weird. What are you laughing at? Would you not agree that there's daddy issues?
You can't tell somebody who to fall in love with. That's the fact of it. You can't. You can be really. For example, the colleague that I was talking about, I thought she was great. She's very mature for her age, and we got on like a house on fire. Now, I know other people that same age, and we're talking in their kind of late 20s, who are very immature. So it really depends on the person and the sort of relationship that you spark up.
You always slag me, by the way. You always slag me for having young female friends.
I do.
It's a constant thing that if I'm meeting a friend for lunch who happens to be younger, you're always like, "Oh, what do you talk about? What do you talk about? Why are you meeting that young one for lunch?" Now, this young one may be 28 or like 32 or something like that. That's different. You can have friends that are a lot younger than you, but when it comes to a relationship, it gets a bit weird.
085-825-2626 is our WhatsApp number. Send us a WhatsApp voice note like Jordan just did.
I'm just watching you lads here. and just talking about the relationships and whatnot. And really, I think it's a case of what society makes of it. If society deems it, unacceptable, then it's going to be spoken down upon. But really, I think it's what makes you happy, and that's what a relationship is all about, in my opinion. So if you're with someone that's 6 years older than you, that's totally fine. If you're in a relationship with someone that's 12 years older than you, that's totally fine as well. But really, it's what makes you happy. It's what society does that makes it acceptable or not acceptable.
Yeah. But society does judge. That's the point. And we were talking about that story in the first place. And the headline of the story was, strangers mistake mum of 3 as husband's daughter due to 30-year age gap. Now, when it's that much of an age gap of 30 years, he does look like her father, or even at a stretch, her grandfather. And yeah, you don't want people looking at your relationship in that way, do you?
There's a lot of people commenting on Facebook here now saying, and I hate this expression. Oh my God, this expression wrecks my head. Age is just a number. Age is just a number. Just a number. Just a number. Age is not just a number. And to take that point a bit further, if you believe that mantra that age is just a number, would you have a problem then with an 18-year-old going out with a 45-year-old? Would you? Okay, so for everybody listening at the moment who says age is just a number, if you had an 18-year-old daughter, would you be happy if she arrived home tomorrow evening with a 45-year-old man, someone like Adrian, on her arm? Hey, Dad, this is my new boyfriend, Adrian. How are you? I'm Adrian, and I'm dating your 18. You wouldn't. You'd have the shotgun out of the closet straight away.
You would.
Wouldn't you, though? So age is not just a number.
No, and yeah, you're right. But as people get a little bit older, that age difference isn't as important. And yeah, you're right. Most parents, if their daughter of 18 brought home a 45-year-old old fella, no parent is going to be.
Well, how would you react?
Happy.
You have a young daughter, and she's not 18, but what is she, 20?
She's 24.
Oh, she's 24. How would you feel if Laura, 24 years of age, now I know she's in a relationship with someone probably your own age at the moment, but if Laura came home next week and she had a 50-year-old man on her arm, and he was a nice man, he had a business, very successful man, had a Jaguar parked outside your gaff, and she arrived in, she said, here's Sid, for argument's sake, here's Sid, Dad, Sid is my new boyfriend. What would you do to Sid?
I'd take him outside for a chat. Sid and I would go for a little conversation.
Would you slash the tires on this Jaguar? Would you?
No, I wouldn't. But Sid and I would have a chat. We'd have conversations. Are you listening, Laura? We will be having conversations. Hi, lads. David here. I'm 21. My partner is 42, and we get on like a house on fire. 21. I'm 21. Oh, whoa. He's 21 and his partner is 42. That's some age gap. That's another 21 years.
And I was just saying a few minutes ago that is very rare for a young fella. David, you're only in your prime, would be with a 42-year-old. Now, a 42, you're not in your prime anymore. And again, I don't want to cast aspersions on your relationship, David. I'm sure she's lovely and I'm sure you're lovely. And once you get on like a house on fire, who cares what anybody thinks? But the issues I would see there immediately when I see 21 and 42, if you want to start a family, now I don't know if you have started a family already, Dave, but if you want to start a family, you probably don't want kids at 21 years of age. A lot of people don't want kids at 21 years of age. Your partner is 42. Her biological clock is ticking, and I'm sure she's aware of that as well. So where does that leave you? That's a big conundrum, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh, anyway, they have 2 kids together.
Oh, we have 2 kids together. Wow. Right. Oh,
there's a whole show in this. There is.
So he's 21. His partner is 42. We get on like a house on fire, and we've got 2 kids together. He's 21. He's only a baby.
Now, you had kids at 21, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No, 25 or 26.
25. Yeah. Now, at 21 years of age, had someone turn around to me and said, do you want to start a family? I would have. Like, at 21, I'm not even mentally prepared to be a parent at my age, never mind at 21 years of age. But here, listen, David, if it works for you, you know, and the relationship is good. There's plenty of people that are in toxic relationships that they shouldn't be in. So if you're in a relationship,
I just want to give a quick shout out before it disappears off my screen here to Angela Plunkett. And she says, I have loved you for years. So happy you're not gone. I'll tune in wherever you are. Thank you very much indeed, Angela. No, we're not gone. We're here. And we are currently working on our next project. We finally this week secured our new office. So we won't have to be, well, we can actually be in the same room together, 2 meters apart.
Lovely, can't wait.
Yeah, so we've this week secured our own office, and we are over the next couple of weeks building our own studio and be able to do our own thing without anybody telling us what we can talk about. Woohoo! Anyway,
okay, someone wants to hold you to task, Adrian. Jesus, how possessive a parent is Adrian coming across? How dare he dictate who his daughter dates? I'll leave that one to you.
I wouldn't dictate. I just said I'd have. What was his name? Sid. I'd say the name in itself. The name in itself sounds a bit dodgy, to be honest with you. Sid and I would go and have a chat. That's all I'd say.
And what would you say to Sid, though? What would you say to Sid?
I hope I don't have to have a conversation with Sid. Really, if I'm to be honest.
Here, by the way. If Sid is loaded, because I know this is an issue that Adrian has been having for years, that he never wants to pay out on his daughter's wedding, that if she ever gets married.
Okay, so you can bring Sid home, no problem, as long as he's got loads of cash.
That is the day. And now that I'm a father of a daughter, I'm already worrying that is the biggest worry one of the biggest worries as a father is when your daughter finally arrives home and says, Daddy, I'm getting married, because you have to foot the bill for your daughter's wedding, don't you? Or do you?
Don't have to. No, you don't have to.
That's a topic for tomorrow.
I have to just go back to David again, right? David, he's 21. She's 42. So
this gets better.
Yeah, this gets better. Yeah. Okay. Lads, we started seeing each other when I was 15. Yeah. She was in her 30s, and it has just sparkled from there.
Ooh.
So think about that for a second. She was in her 30s.
Try not to.
He was 15, and there's something wrong there.
No, I don't
anyway,
know.
Right.
If it was a physical relationship, it was illegal. It was illegal because a physical relationship at that age. But I'm baffled to think what a woman in her 30s would have in common with a child. I mean, at 15 years of age, you were a child. Listen, David, we need to get you on the show we'll do 6-hour show all about the life of David next week, yeah?
Absolutely. All right. We had planned to talk about other stuff, but unfortunately...
So you have Alex there as well. You have a voice note from Alex as well.
Oh, sorry. This is a WhatsApp voice note from Alex.
Hey, lads. I don't have an issue with big age gaps as long as people love each other and look after each other, respect each other. But I suppose the only time I'd have a concern is when there's children involved. And I think another caller mentioned that they would have a difference in age when the older partner passes away, and it could be a bit inconsiderate, but other than that, I don't see a big difference. Me, myself, I have a partner who's 13 years younger than me. I'm 40, she's 27. And I found that the half your age plus 7 rule really does work. It was first mentioned in a book, Her Royal Highness Woman by Max Aurel in 1901. And it's quite a common method to calculate the youngest age you're compatible with. Look it up. It's interesting. And keep up the good work, lads. Great to see you online.
Thanks very much indeed, Alex. That's actually apparently a rule. Half your age plus 7 is an acceptable age gap, yeah?
Sorry, who made up that? That's a ridiculous rule. Who made that?
If you're 40, say, half your age is 20 plus 7 is 27. So that's an acceptable age gap. And I've heard that before. So if you're 50, half your age is 25, plus 7 is 32. So that's,
okay, yeah. Lorna is triggered by David's story that she just heard there.
Okay, here we go.
15, guys, if that was the other way around and she was the young girl and he was the older man, can you imagine what would be said about that or what would be done about that? That would have been, wow, that is crazy. Just having it the other way around, I don't think people would take such a big, but 15, that's it. My son is 15. If my son brought someone home younger than me, oh my God, wow. Wow.
All right, thanks very much.
No, but you're right. And Adrian, if it was, I know you're laughing about it, and you know there's a comical element to it. But if it was the other way around, if that
now,
was
obviously,
a girl,
this isn't happening right now, so let's just make that
No.
perfectly clear.
Yes,
The guy's
yeah.
21 now, but he's known her since he was
people
15.
messaging saying we need to ring the guards and all. Calm down there for a second. But if it was the other way around, if that was a 15-year-old girl with a fella in his 30s, I think the reaction would be somewhat different, would it not?
Yes, it probably would be.
You even look at the way the
Now, by the way,
treats-
sorry, can I just say he says he was 15. That's not to suggest that there was anything inappropriate happening when he was.
No, they could have just known each other.
15.
They could have just known each other.
Yeah,
But you look at even the way the media reports on stories like that, and the way it different reports. Like if it's a teacher of 30 who is caught with a schoolboy of 15, the headline would be like, "Randy teacher caught in romp with schoolboy." Whereas if it's a male teacher who's 40 caught with a 15-year-old girl, it's like
pedophile on the loose.
Pedophile teacher, nonce on the loose. And I think we need to change the way we look at these things, because for a person over the age of consent to have sex with a person under the age of consent, regardless of the gender, it's wrong. It's wrong and it's illegal.
Absolutely. All right, we had planned to talk about other stuff today, but it's been so busy that we're out of time for this Facebook Live. We're very grateful to you for watching us today. If you want to get in touch with us with anything that you want to talk about, as you can see at the bottom of our screen there and on the top of our Facebook page is our WhatsApp number.
WhatsApp.
Yeah, you can send us a WhatsApp at any time of the night or day if there's anything you want us to talk about. 085 825 2626. That is our number for evermore. Save it in your phone as Adrian and Jeremy. And tell all your friends. Share this video onto your Facebook page and let your friends see that we're not gone away anywhere. And over the next couple of weeks, as we said, we will be launching our brand new show. It will be available everywhere. We'll explain more as we...
on the moon. You'll be able to pick it up on the moon. Available everywhere.
Well, maybe not, but...
so for those of you watching in the International Space Station,
how are you?
Lads? How are you?
You can send us a WhatsApp at any time, 085 825 2626. Stay in touch with us on our social media channels like this Facebook page. We also have a new YouTube channel. We're both on Twitter as well. We have an Instagram account. We're everywhere. Opinions Matter. Look, there it is there. Opinions Matter with Adrian and Jeremy. Thank you very much indeed for watching in this morning. We're back tomorrow morning at about 11:30 with Good News Friday. So make sure you're here with us on Facebook Live at about 11:30 tomorrow morning with Good News Friday. And between now and then, if you've anything happening in your life that is a bit of good news, you can send us a WhatsApp voice note to that number, 085 825 2626. And we will be here tomorrow morning at about 11:30 with Good News Friday. Thank you very much indeed for watching in today. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.